Warning, this video is only for 14 and up, and if you're under, please leave this video because I will not be accused of something I don't want to be accused of. Please, if you're under, leave the video. Stories go through the air. You can listen and you cannot. But stories are here to help. Understand what is right and what is wrong. But sometimes stories can do the opposite. There's no right or wrong. You have to form your own opinion. But that is not what you're here for. You're here to listen to this silly little god of this channel. Listens to his mind going on about his stories, about the different worlds where he's traveling to, and where he can make some small different in a timeline. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy my video, and let's begin. And remember, subscribe, leave a comment. Most important part is leave a comment and give this video a like if you enjoyed this one. Let's get into the next part of what if Belle Cranel was an item maker. And this has been voted on. There was only one vote this week, so it will be what if Belle Cranel was an item maker. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. As you heard from the intro, there was only one vote that has been casted for this week episode, and it was item maker. If you guys want to hear about the next week's one, go to the end and hear the 3 videos that is gonna be announced, or 2. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we will continue what if Belle Cranel was an item maker. It's gonna be a middle long one, but not a complete long one. So, hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin this video. Alright, where we last left off, we were at the host, I think it was at the hostess of fertility, where Belle and I started to talk overnight, becoming not close friends, but becoming friends at this point in time. Belle has been with them for 2 weeks at this point, or a week. Yeah, 2 weeks at that point in time. No, 3 weeks, I think. Fuck, I'm sorry. He's been with the Loki Familia for a little time now, but not as much. So he is kind of new, but not. After that whole situation at the hostess of fertility, Belle and the others went back to their home and took a nap, or fell asleep at that point in time. In the morning of the next day, Belle woke up and put on his gears and everything else, and walked down below to the training ground to get some more training in, because he has learned a lot from his family his family of Hera and Zeus, and his uncle and aunts that he has in Zeus and Hera Familia that's still alive, by the way, and new. After Belle went down to the grounds through training, he spotted Eyes, started to, train a little bit with her swords. With her rapier. Oh, good morning, Eyes. Didn't expect to see you up. Belle, I didn't expect you either. It's normal for me. Usually wakes up earlier than this, but last night was kind of wild, so got some more sleep than usual. Oh, that's understandable. So, what you doing? Training a little bit with my sword, that's it. Oh, do you mind sparring with me? Really? Yeah, why not? I mean, we can fight each other one-on-one. I see how much you've grown, and see how much I have in the dungeon. Okay then. Went over to the training arena with Belle in tow. Belle standing on the left side and Eyes on the right side. After some few moments of staring at each other, both of them started to move after they saw a leaf from a tree fell down to the ground and landed on the ground, and when that hit, both of them rushed in towards each other. Eyes went forward and trying to pierce Belle with her rapier that's in her scabbard, by the way, into her. The one that holds the blade. Yeah, they still have safety, so yeah, the blade is in the scabbard. Belle has his sword in his as well. She tried to thrust forward with her rapier, but Belle slid under it and just hit it up into the air, and when he did that, he immediately, after he hit the weapon up, he took his arm, he has his weapon in his right arm. Make sure his weapon was down at his feet afterwards and try to strike in the cut Eyes metaphorically in half with his blade. But Eyes immediately jumped backwards to dodge the blade. When she did that, Belle immediately went forward and tried to pierce her with his weapon. With Eyes dodging to the side and trying to cut Belle at his throat. But Belle leans back from the weapon so he didn't get hit, and leans back to not get hit in the throat or his chest area, to dodge under it and kicks his left feet up to try to hit Eyes in her arm, but her moving the arm away tried to elbow strike his leg, but Belle just made a flip where he do a 360 cartwheel, I think it's called, away from Eyes, landing on the ground and crouching with his sword in front of him. The sword was pointing down towards his left knee, with him staring at Eyes, and started to move towards the right side of Eyes. No, the left side. Moving towards the left, with Eyes moving towards right, making both of them go into a circle, they're doing a circle, going around each other, trying to see who will attack. Eyes is the one that went forward first, with her slashing at, trying to stab Belle's stomach again. But this time, Belle dodges to their sides like Eyes did with him, and grabbed the weapon with his left arm, and strikes down with his sword. Eyes immediately just shoot! I forgot how Eyes' armor parts look. No, she has protection on the near the hands and forearm and above that. Yeah, so Eyes used her armor part. Eyes uses her rapier in the right side, so Belle grabbed and strike. Yeah, Eyes used her left arm to block it with her armor pieces, and both of them had Eyes pushed the sword away and grabbed it with her left hand, so both of them was in this grabbing their weapons kind of situation, with Eyes immediately just kicks at Belle's leg, actually hitting him, making him fall to the ground.
After he did that, Belle accidentally released Ice's blade, and she went over him, making sure that his weapon was above his head so he couldn't use it, and had her rapier at his throat, not pointing at the end, but the blade itself at his throat, with her just having her knee on one of the side, and yeah, but just she is literally just sitting on his stomach. Ice is sitting on Belle's stomach with her blade at his throat. Yield? Yeah, I can't fight. Ice stand up and helped Belle up from the ground and made sure he was fine. Well, that was kind of a quick battle. Want another one? Yeah, why not? And this just happens a lot for like an hour at this point for them. Belle and Ice trade blows. It's actually equal kind of winning, with Ice having... They did around 7 rounds at this point. Belle having 3 wins and Ice having 4. It just caught up. Sometimes it's a mistake they made, or it was just a... they hit the right spot and could defeat one another. At the next hour, Belle is, panting with, from the workout he just did with Ice, but not tired yet. Let me just make sure that Belle is not tired. He's just a little exhausted at this point in time after the battle. Ice is also very exhausted by the little training they had, so she's also breathing heavily with exhaustions in her, lung. That is great sparring, Ice. Thank you. You're not bad yourself. Ooh, are you two done? Belle and Ice, hearing a voice, turned around to see around 10 members of the Loki Familia watching the spar. Belle even spotted Finn, Riveria, and Gareth in Finn's office that was looking down at the grounds to... Finn's office window from behind him looks down on the training ground where Ice and Belle has sparred, and he sees that they have been watching them. Oh, we had an audience. I didn't... You all watched that spar? Yeah, that's kind of impressive. Sayone shouted when she was at the... It's just, it's the same kind of area that they sparred the first time, Ice and Belle, so Finn could see how Belle is against a level 5. Exactly. So seeing this kind of fight with a level 1 with experienced in fighting without a Fulna, that has a Fulna now, that's a level 1, with a experienced person that has a Fulna that has only had a Fulna, not have a Fulna after they're skilled. Seeing this is kind of impressive in a way, and the person is a level 5. So it was impressive for everyone seeing this kind of sparring match. Tyona jumped down to the ground with her sister protesting that she jumped down to the ground. Can I spar versus you? Can I spar against you, Belle? Sure. Why not? I just 1 round. I need to go to the dungeon sooner or later. Ooh, yeah. And no magic on him. I want to see your normal strength. Belle looked at him and said, I'm not wearing magic boosting armor, Tyona. This made her stop for a moment and looked at Belle. You didn't fight ice in your normal armor? No, this is just an extra pair. I never trained with magic items. That's just ridiculous. Oh. Well, that's neat. Anyways, Tyona grabbed a training Urga at this point because her weapon is still being, forged at this point because of her mistake. Alright then. She pulled out the training Urga that she had and spinned it around a little bit. Let's see what you got. Okay. Belle stood in a different kind of position as before he did with Eyes. Him and Eyes was kind of speed versus speed at that point. It was not force versus force, it was speed versus speed. So their rounds were quick and precise. With Tyona, Belle could see she was power and strength instead of speed and power and strength versus speed and calculated where to hit with that speed. So Belle stood in a more powerful but still speedy kind of first kind of move. Belle has his sword still Belle has his sword in front of him, but a little to the right side of him, down to the ground. Belle stood there for a moment, waiting for Tyona to move, and after 5 seconds, she moved forward to, spin around with her Urga and slash towards Belle, where he dodged backwards when it hit. When Tyona tried to hit him. Where she spins around and tried to slash at Belle with her Urga, trying to slash downwards, where Belle jumped back and moved to the side and moved forward to try to strike Tyona, where she, after doing that attack, jumps towards the right side where the slash went to, and spun around with the other blade that was not at the ground and hits Belle's blade away. So Belle's got hit away. Belle went to the right and his weapon got hit away from her with the right side of her. With Belle's blade jumping a little bit away, but Belle moved towards the left and slashed at, Tyona's legs. With her jumping up into the air and spinning around again, trying to hit Belle with the spin around. No, that is the left. She tried to hit Belle with the left side of her blades down to the ground, but Belle again jumps back from Tyona and jumps a little bit more away from her. After standing there for a moment, Belle went forward first this time and started to do some piercing motions with his sword. Piercing motions with going to the left, going to the right, and just going after the feet at Tyona when she landed on the ground. Tyona blocked the weapons from Belle, trying to make sure he doesn't hit her. But Belle focused more at her legs and the bottom of her body. So when she didn't realize it, Belle is, after hitting from the left, turns his arm up and tried to actually hit Tyona in her forehead, making her not go back. Belle stopped and looked at Tyona trying to rub her the hit that came from Belle's sword. Ow! That hurt! Yeah, but I won. Oh, come on! Eyes, Tyona, and the people that watchers, even Bet was there by the way, clapped a little at Belle's techniques. Even though Tyona is hit first, well, Tyona isn't the character to use tactics. She's an Amazon. She's using more forward techniques, like just cut into them and try to cut them in half. So Belle using techniques to, well, misdirects where his hits actually is gonna be, actually just hit Tyona. After a little smile with Tyona smiled back at, well, Belle said, "Alright, that's enough for me for training today. Thank you for the little spar, Tyona." "No problem." By the way, I just want to make you guys sure, Tyona is not gonna fall in love with Belle at this point. This was a sparring match, not a real kind of spar. And Belle didn't actually defeat her, he just hit her head, and that counted as a win for him because that's a deadly strike with his blade. So that was just a win for Belle. So after this, Belle said thank you to Tyona for the little spar, and thanks Eyes for the spars they had. She thanked him as well, and he went up to his room to get his actual gear on. Belle spotted that his gear needed to be reforged or be him finding a new armor set. He also looked at the sword he has and saw that it was not great anymore. It's still great at fighting monsters, but he needed a new sword that he can use. Belle smiled at the sword he has been using for around 2 years at this point. It was given to him by a friend that he met on the road. He met a friend on a friendly blacksmith he bought the sword from after Belle saved him and his family from some bandits back then and made sure his town was fine. So the blacksmith gave him this weapon he enjoys to use. So Belle looked at the blade that is about to... He thinks it cannot handle much longer. Probably maybe a week or two more. Belle grabbed his items and his magic bag to put on his shoulders and rushed down towards the entrance of the hall, grabbing some food on the way so he doesn't get hungry. Rushing out of the Loki Familia house, he rushes down the path, rushing down towards the dungeon, and after, I think, half an hour of, well, walking, he, well, entered the dungeon and started to fight the monsters down to floor 5 and 6. Finding that it's still, by the way, it's still early morning. Finding there's a lot of monsters in the earlier part of the morning. Still keeps fighting it, but running into a group of monsters in a kind of a circular kind of room in the dungeon. Defeating them, he asked himself, wait, if everyone is going to do this in the morning, and every monster is gonna be more... Some monster is gonna be killed. Belle just had a thought. Is there a night? Can you go into dungeon at night and work? Belle, after 3 hours of being down there, returned to the surface after he thinks it was enough for today, walking up to the surface and walking towards the guild area. After arriving at the guild, he met his advisor Aina and talked to her a little bit after she got information and the report from Belle. Hey, Aina, I have a question to ask. What's up, Belle? Is there night? Can you go into the dungeon at night and fight monsters? I mean, yeah, there's no rule about it or anything else. Does people do it or anything, keeping the monsters at bay? No, I don't think so. Yes, there is. A red-haired, fox-like woman walks over to Belle and Ayana after hearing Belle asking this question. Oh, Miss... whatever her name is, it's, I forgot her name. I think it's Rose or something else. Miss saying her name. What do you mean there actually is? There is a kind of minor profession in the dungeon kind of dungeon run. In the past, monsters has been grouping up at night to make more fighting chance in the morning when the adventurers, most of them, come to. But some adventurers spotted this and decided to go into the night, at night in the dungeon, and killing some of the monsters at night and giving some more. But it has more risk and more dangerous part because there's more monster and more danger to, fight them. Huh. That sounds interesting. Belle thought about it a little and asked, when does this thing start? Oh, mostly at... By the way, I'm going digital... I can't say it. I'm not going with 1 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock afternoon. I'm going from the when the clock hits zeros to 24 hours. I'm using the 24 hours, so it does make sense. I think it started at 18 o'clock. So it's still 18. I'm not using anything else of talk. It's 18 or I'm using... I can't talk. I'm using digital. I'm using the computer clock. That makes sense more than I can ever say. If there's 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. on it, no, it's just you can see the time normally. I'm trying to make sense here, but I don't think I am. It's 18 at night when most of them heads towards the dungeon and fight them off. There's not a lot of adventurers that do this, but yeah, a lot of them still do. Huh. Maybe I should try that. If you do, you can only go to the guild at 6 o'clock 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh. So... yeah, you ask what time it is, then you can go into the dungeon. I see. So spending 7 hours at midnight. I think I have some few plans. I would probably try this, one of these days in the week. Well, it's still quite dangerous. There are more monsters than there is in morning. Yeah, but it's kind of getting boring. I mean, fewer monsters, like 5 at a time, is boring, Hyena. You are a adrenaline junkie. What do I say? I have a different kind of experience than others. Fine, I can rate you down as adventurers that tried at night. Come to inform me if you want to, well, turn permanent into night, so I can help you when you come in. Alright then. After that conversation, Bell went over to the exchange counter and got his valise. That was around 9,000 valise. Yeah, 9,000 valise for that. After walking out and walking around the town, walking around in Orario, he spotted 4 girls walking, right in front of him, and none of them spotted him. It was Tyona, Tyone, Lufia, and Ice walking down the ground. Walking away towards where he knows that the Diane sect and the I hope I'm saying this correct, Gordnew familia is. So Belle kind of had a mischievous look and walks a little bit behind them, hearing them talking about the little talking about to Lufia about the sparring that Ice and Tyona had with Belle. It was amazing. Even though he's a level 1 and we know he can fight level 5, we should still have a boost most than others, but he still fight us on equal foot. Wow, that is kind of amazing. Yes. Even sometimes I was afraid that I was about to lose. Belle smiled and answered that. Well, you are quite a little bit faster than me, but I have more tactics to fighting humans than others. The girls just jumped a little at Belle's voice and turned around to look at him. Belle, what are you doing? Oh, I just came out of the dungeons a few hours ago. Well, almost 30 minutes ago. I decided to walk home when I spotted you, and I just wanted to have a little fun scaring you all. Jesus Christ, don't do that! Lufia said she looked angry at Belle. What? I'm sorry, but it was still a little funny. Fine. Anyways, what are you girls doing walking towards the Diane sect and Gordnew familia? Sorry. Tyona smiled. Well, I need to check up on my Urga. Or did I forget to place my order? Tyona, you forgot to place your order. Oh. So I think the scene with Eyes, Tyona, Lufia, and Tyone happened before they went to Hostess facility. But here it's a little different where it's after. And we are heading towards the Diane sect so we can sell some few items. Huh. Never been to Diane sect. I only got my potions from, the guild. Yeah. But it's a great place to get some money from with some few items. probably should check it out to see what potions they got. But do be warned, Lufia said after stopped being pissed at Belle. Their prices are kind of high. How high are we saying, Lufia? After a few minutes of, being... They're like 700 valleys for the lowest? Belle said, looking at, at this. Yeah. And they're like... I don't even make this much. If I'm gonna buy a middle one, that's like... This is almost almost more than I earn. It's like 7,000 valleys for a middle one? And 15,000 for the bigger ones? Belle is just there looking shocked. How does people will get potions this fucking pricey? Most of adventurers get their potions from the guild. But those who can buy it buys it from here. But this is just a fucking... Oh, this is just horrible. Yeah. After looking around for a few more minutes, Belle, hearing also the haggling from Tyona, walks out of the potion, Diane Sack's place, and walks down the road with the two girls that was talking. After some few moments, he noticed after they got around 4 blocks away, heading towards the Gordnu Familia, where Eyes and Tyona split off from them. Belle spotted a sign that had blueberry farmeries on it. Give me a moment. Belle saw the sign for the blue pharmacy and walked over to it, in not telling Tyona and Lufia about it. The girls didn't see him walk away, and Belle walks over to the pharmacy. Stepping inside, he sees no one at the counter or around the store. Walking around to see some few potions, actually. That's around 150 valles. Huh. Must be cheap, so not that good. Maybe watered down. But they're still potions. Belle looked around to see some more healing items and everything else under cheaper sides that Diane Sachs has priced up a hell of a lot in their own stores. So Belle took around 10 potions, adding up to 1,500 valles. Walking up to the counter, he sees that no one was there and rings the bell that was. After 10 seconds, a girl with dog ears and a dog tail comes out from the back and had a kind of sleepy look in her face. How can I help you? Yeah, hi, I just want to buy these 10 potions. Belle set the potions on the counter and she smiled, looked at it and looked back at Belle. That would be 1,600. Belle looked at her with this, oh, look, 1,550. Belle just looked at her and she just looked. Sure. Belle put the money on the counter and smiled at the girl. Thank you for the potions. And put them in his bag. Say, I have a question. Go on. I've never heard of this pharmacy before. Are you in a familia or something? This is the Miak Familia's pharmacy. We used to be a rival for the sect before an accident that made us go into debt. I see. Well, I think I'm gonna come back here. Your potions are a lot cheaper, and I kinda like the vibes here than the insect. Sure thing. If you want to. Oh, I think I'm gonna come back. Thank you again. Bye. Belle walked over to the door and left the pharmacy. Walking out to the alleyway and spotted the, four girls looking around for him. Lucia was the one to spot him and, rushed over to him. Where have you been? We were looking for you. Ah, sorry, I forgot to tell. I just spotted something that caught my eye. Caught your eye? Yeah. Well, anyways, are you girls done with whatever you wanted to do? Yeah, we are. By the way, Belle, I have a question. Yeah, what's up, Tyona? Do you know about monstophilia? What the hell is monstophilia? A few days, we skipped 3 days after. Belle was sitting in the stadiums with Tyona, and Lucia, looking out at this, fighting arena. Wow. Okay, so monstophilia is a taming event for the city. Yes. That is quite surprising. Never knew that the city would do this. But why? What do you mean? I mean, why would Ganesha do this? There's no... it seems strange, doesn't it? I mean, it's entertaining, that's one of the points. And showed the city that monsters aren't that scary. Monsters are terrifying. Not that scary. They're terrifying if you don't know what to do. I mean, yeah, but still funny to watch. Yeah. You can say that. Belle looked at this and still thinks there's just something that doesn't make sense. Why would they do this? Belle just continued to watching the whole event. When he, got a little hungry and told the girls, I'm gonna head out. I just need some food and some drinks. Don't mind me being gone for a little while. Oh, we won't, Belle. Don't worry. Belle walks out of the Coliseum and towards some vendors and, got some little, fries, or... He got some fries and some, potato snacks. And started to, get something to drink as well when he heard some roar coming from the entrance to where they had kept the monsters. Some guards looked confused and looked back to spot around 50 monsters coming out of the dungeon. Belle immediately, drew... He has his sword on him because of his uncle Zard telling him, don't keep your weapon far away from you. Even though you're outside, keep a weapon on you. Belle grabbed his sword after, just eating his potato croquette and drinking the some apple juice he got, and put it on the counter where he bought the apple juice and immediately rushed off towards where the monster was. There were around one infant dragon, some few monsters from lower floors, around 3 silverbacks, all 3 of them different, and some other monsters as well, rushing out of, this area. When Bell rushed forward, he cuts down some few monsters that were in front of him. Jumping back after, a fist with a chain came after him. This being, 3 silverbacks that came after him. Bell, seeing that they are the most the most terrifying of them, rushed away with the silverback following him. Looking back, seeing that they're acting strangely. They're not attacking anyone else, but only going after me. That's interference, meaning, fuck. Someone wants me. Bell jumps away after, a monster with a silverback with an iron glove that kept its hands locked, but now is using as some boxing gloves, threw a punch at Bell where he jumps over it. Bell lands on its arm and rushed up from where he lands on the gloves of the silverback and used his sword to cut into the arm. He lands around 5 strikes on the arm of this silverback before it launched him up into the air, where you could see the silverback's arm could not move perfectly anymore. When the silverback looks up, Bell, fell down and into, the monster's head, making his sword drive through its eye and into its head, killing it instantly, making the monster corpse drop down to the ground, with it disappearing after some few minutes. Bell turning around to see a chain, coming near him, where he just see the chain and dodges with him bending his body, doing where he goes on his tiptoe and just bend his body backwards where the chain fly past him. When he did that, Bell, after doing his trick and going normal, grabbed the chain and swung with it over to the monster. When he tried to cut into him, the other silverback that was next to the one with the chain, hit Bell with his normal hand and into a wall that he was nearby. Bell was in the same kind of area where Ice, Tony, Tyona, and Lufia was, where they fought the plant monsters. Bell landed on the ground after being hit, while jumping up immediately, looking at the 2 silverbacks that was in front of him. After seeing what he could do, one of the silverbacks, the one with the chain, jumps forward and slammed the chains on the ground, so Bell jumped over. Jumped backwards away from... Sorry about that, I just got interrupted by one of my parents to give me hot cocoa. Okay. Bell jumped away from the silverback that slammed into the ground with the chained on the ground, trying to hit Bell. With a silverback that had armor pieces on its legs more heavily, rushed forward to kick at Bell, but Bell landed on its foot when it tried to kick up at Bell. When Bell landed, he cuts into the silverback, cutting into its legs and cutting right through it, cutting off the foot with the silverback and jumping on one of its foot, trying to getting its balance back. But with Bell on the ground now, jumping up and just cutting into the silverback's well, no, not cutting, stabbing into the silverbacks and hitting its crystal, making the silverback just poof out of the air. Belle, rolling on the ground, rushed forward towards the one that has the original silverback, by the way. With it, throwing out its chain to Belle, grabbing it, making the silverback throw Belle up into the air. With him just seeing his opportunity, cuts down and hits on the head first, cutting down and into, hitting the crystal, cutting the crystal of the silverback in half and landing on the ground, with Belle slicing through it, making the sword go near the ground, with him just turning around from the silverback and just having the sword near its face, with the sword's blade just shattering the right eye of Belle, with the left eye just looking serious, with the silverback just poofing in the background of Belle. After landing, Belle stood up and looked around at the little battlefield he was on. Give me a moment. After, Belle looked around at the battlefield, not seeing anything else, he rushed out of it to try to find more monsters. After rushing around, to try to find any other monsters, he heard some couple of bangs where he came from, beforehand. Rushing back towards the area, Belle sees that, the Amazon Twins was fighting... Wait, I didn't see any plant monsters. Belle looked confused at this, but still rushed in to see, try to help them. But seeing Lufia started to chant and the monsters focusing on her, Belle was in the middle of the thing, at where the plant monsters was on his left, Lufia was on his right, where Belle saw that the monsters focused on her. Belle made a split-second decision to rush over to the Lufia and actually bridal carry her, picked Lufia up in a bridal carry and jumped away from a attack that came after her. Lufia was shocked, but Belle just told her, "Keep chanting!" Belle jumping around the plant monsters, or the plant monsters attack, trying to hit Lufia that was still chanting. Jumping on a wall, jumping away from a plant monster's attack, landing on that, and jumping up, further up towards the rooftops, with the monsters still, trying to attack. After some few moments, Lufia cast, her elf, the frozen elf spell that she did in the original. After some few moments, ice came in to help cutting down some few of the monsters that was frozen, but some of the others got out of it. Belle landed on the ground again, pulling out his sword to protect Lufia that was still behind him. She was casting the elf arrow, or the light arrow she has, with Belle hitting some of the attacks away from her. After a minute of this, Belle saw one of the plant monsters rush forward with its mouth open, with Belle turning his blade in a reverse grip, stabbing down into the mouth and just had it on the ground, just making it squirm around and everything else. With Lufia casting the spell, but Belle heard a crack. Not a big one, but he still heard it. After Lufia casted her spell, hitting the monster, killing it, he saw that no monster was there anymore. Was defeated by Tyone, Tyona, and Eyes. That when Belle and Lufia tried to defeat the monster in front of them. Belle took his sword that was in the ground out and saw that his blade was cracked into the middle part. His blade was cracked in the middle of his sword, rushing down towards the tip area where Belle could see that the tip of the sword was broken off. Belle looked at the ground where he stabbed his sword and used his fingers to go into the crack and pulled out the end of the sword, with Lufia looking at it with apology in her, an apology almost coming out with Belle stopping her. It was not your fault, Lufia. This sword is, very old, even though I have maintained it as best that I could. It was a time to, retire this blade. Belle slid the end of the blade into the scabbard. Is the blade the one to hold the blade bastard holder, or whatever it's called, or a scabbard? After Belle slid the end of the blade into the scabbard, I'm still gonna call it that though. He took his the full other blade and slid it into it, making him rest it on his back. Are you two okay? Eyes rushed over to Belle, with him smiling. Yeah, we're fine. And by the way, what the hell was those monsters? By the way, what the hell was these monsters? I never saw them rushing out of the Colosseum when I was outside. Wait, you saw the monsters escape? Yeah, I cut down around 5 monsters that escaped in the beginning, but I got chased by 3 silverbacks that I took down. But these are different. I mean, the silverbacks looks like they were chasing me specifically. These one looked planned. Sorry. How so? I mean, they went after Lufia after she cast her magic, meaning that they are sensitive to magic. Spells, casters, or people that just use magic on a regular basis. But they're also tough, meaning they have tough skin to get some attacks in, and they hit fucking hard. Meaning, this is a different kind of monster. Huh. That is weird. But the silverbacks ones are more. No, that isn't, because I think that was a setup for someone. By a god. So, Belle, you're accusing a god? Loki said, walking up to her children. Yes. The other monsters maybe be distractions, but those 3 silverbacks was a test. I mean, one of them had more armor on its legs, one of them had faraway attacks, one of them had, punches, so... Yeah, this was a test for me, I think. Thank you, Belle. That is quite informative. You're welcome, goddess. And... do you guys know where I can find some new blades? This one I have to retire. It's an old blade, so... Ooh, there is some few shops on the top of, well, in the Babel Tower. I mean, I think the rookie smiths is the proper way to go to you. What, you don't think I could buy something for level 1? Well, level 5s? I mean, yeah, but it will probably stop you from going far. I mean, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I should probably go with rookie, well, armor sets then. Yeah, I think I have enough. I still went to the dungeon for 3 days before I went to Monstophilia. Didn't spend that much money here. That's the stuff. Now go on, go home. I need to deal out some few things. Belle looked at, well, Loki with a suspicious look, knowing that she knows who did it but not gonna tell him. After getting home, he went into his room and took out a placed his sword on a weapon holder that he has installed for the last few days. A couple of days ago, into his room. Placed his, well, sword on it and just went over to his, well, table where he create items and chant magic. Belle looked at how much he has learned from these past couple of weeks. I can do some more, but that I can boost attacks, but can I not get resistant to fire, water, or any magic spells? Do I need real magic? Belle thought to himself, but turned off his light on his desk and walked over to his bed, laying down and just falling asleep. Now this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you. Good morning. Good morning, good night, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. First time I messed that up. Or I messed it up beforehand and I didn't notice. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. Bye-bye. Remember, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That one is the most important one. Hello everybody, this is Editing Blue Mask here, and I forgot to mention the fucking 3 next videos for next week. That is What If Deku Was a Monster Hunter, part 3 of the 5-part series. What if Belle Cranel Was a Monster Hunter, Season 2, Episode 1. And what if what if Danmachi was a video game? You have your free answer of what videos this is gonna be. Choose wisely. Bye-bye!